Good morning, everyone. I'm Chitra Bhatia, and I have with me my colleague Alessandra Attias. I hope you all are enjoying your summers. Here in BC, we have many businesses open today. It is good to see people around while following the social distance norms. Since there is, and about our daily today, since the offices for IRCC were closed for the long weekend, we will summarize some important announcements that were made last week.
Chitra, it's always a pleasure to work with you. Nice to see you.
Same here.
We've had good weather in Montreal as well. The summer is telling us, hey, I'm on my way. So it's very exciting. Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à notre bulletin sur l'immigration au Canada, un rendez-vous quotidien qui nous permet de faire le point sur la situation actuelle dans l'immigration par rapport à la situation Covid. Donc, je suis Alessandra Attias et avec moi, j'ai Chitra Bhatia qui est ma collègue qui va qui va vous donner ces informations en anglais aujourd'hui. Donc, vu que nous avons eu un long week-end avec le week-end des Patriotes et donc le gouvernement était fermé, donc on n'a pas vraiment de mise à jour aujourd'hui à vous présenter, mais nous allons faire un petit résumé des informations de la semaine dernière.
Okay, so we'll start with some important news that was announced for students last week. So postgraduate work permit eligibility won't be affected if you if you are doing these courses online due to COVID-19. So students can begin program online from outside Canada and complete up to 50% of them from outside Canada. In addition, students will not have time deducted from the length of future post-graduation work permit for studies completed outside of Canada up to December 31st, 2020. So that's a great news for students. Also, they must make a note that when they're applying for the study permit extension, as well as when they're applying for postgraduate work permit, they need to have a special letter of support from their college or university, whatever they're going to. This letter is really important and it should explain why these students attended this program online. So that letter, along with your application, you can submit, and please make a note of this important changes.
One would think that everybody would remember that COVID was around at the time, but you know,
yeah,
let's just do it.
It is good to have this letter of support, and they have made it very clear that it is required. Yes. Yeah.
No problem. Alors, pour les étudiants étrangers, donc l'admissibilité au permis de travail post-diplôme ne sera pas affectée si vos cours d'automne 2020 seront en ligne en raison du Covid-19. Les étudiants peuvent commencer des programmes en ligne de l'extérieur du Canada et terminer jusqu'à 50% d'entre eux de l'extérieur du Canada. Donc, si vous choisissez de rester dans votre pays d'origine pour cette période, il n'y aura pas de problème. De plus, les étudiants n'auront pas de temps déduit de la durée de leur futur permis de travail post-diplôme pour les études qui seront terminées à l'extérieur du Canada, et ceci jusqu'au 31 décembre 2020. Un élément important à noter, c'est que les étudiants auront besoin d'une lettre de soutien de leur établissement lors de la demande du permis de travail post-diplôme, ainsi que lors des demandes de prolongation de permis d'études. Donc, il faudra demander à vos écoles une lettre qui justifie en effet que vous avez dû faire une partie de vos études en ligne à cause du Covid. Voilà. Donc, I have a question for you actually, because here it says for the students that are going to start their study program. But what about someone who he's starting his third year in September? Can he go back home from September to December and still benefit from this?
Lots of students have gone back home and actually benefiting from it. So yes, it's not just from starting the program, but also if you're in a particular semester, you know, so the entire 50% of the program can be done online. So if you're in whichever semester, a lot of university students like bachelors, you know, they have 4 years, so they can be in any, so they can go back home and actually study online. Because when actually all these things happen, a lot of students actually went back home. And the classes are going on, so you know, you keep on studying. Just maintain it that you did inform your you know, university or your college that you're online, and so that later on you have that communication, you have the letter of support from your university. So that one should maintain. Yes.
Yeah, I will translate that as well. Alors, ces nouvelles réglementations s'appliquent bien évidemment aussi aux gens qui sont en cours de diplôme et donc qui, pour une raison ou d'une autre, ont choisi de rentrer dans leur pays d'origine pendant la période Covid. Il faudra quand même qu'ils obtiennent l'autorisation de leur école d'étudier à distance, enfin via Internet. Et à ce moment-là, cette période sera comptée aussi par rapport à leur permis de programme post-diplôme. Thank you. Can I ask you another question?
Yes, sure.
I believe that the CIC, the IRCC, sorry, call centers have reopened. People can now call to ask questions.
Yes, they are. And they actually mentioned during the long weekend, please do not, call us right now. We are closed for the long weekend, but they're open now on Tuesday. So they can actually contact IRCC call centers and they can send web mails, to them. They are actually answering a lot of, I can see responses coming in 3 days instead of 5 or 6.
That's great. I think, honestly, I call them a lot as well to know what's going on with some files and, to see if I can get answers on what's stuck or not, or if I have a doubt. Sometimes they're very helpful.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good news even for us professionals that the call center is open again.
Yes, it is open again. So yeah. That's pretty good.
Une petite note, juste pour vous dire que le call center de IRCC a réouvert. Donc, si vous avez des questions à poser, vous voulez faire un suivi sur le statut de votre demande, vous pouvez désormais téléphoner aussi, en plus de faire les web forms. Voilà, donc ils ont réouvert aussi, ils sont ouverts aujourd'hui.
Awesome. So we had another great news actually. The pilot, which was much awaited, the Agri-food pilot got launched and it's now accepting applications. So this is a very important pilot where Canada is committed to attract top talent to the meat processing, mushroom and greenhouse production, and also livestock raising industries to fulfill labor needs. We keep hearing all these industries have a huge labor shortage and they're always looking for people. So this pilot has opened up. It's a great pilot and people can now actually submit applications.
I will allow myself to have an opinion. I'm known to be very opinionated, but what I think is a very good sign for this program to have opened is that because I get a lot of people calling me and saying, oh, what will happen with immigration? Are you sure we can still move forward with some applications? Do you have that experience as well?
All the time. They're asking questions whether we can apply for the work permit, we can apply for the PR. Is Canada still open for permanent residency? So these are the flood of questions we always receive. And yes, you're right. They opening up this, IRCC opening up this pilot this time actually shows the commitment to the immigration programs, right? So the immigration is still open in Canada. They're still inviting people to come to Canada. So it's not something that they're not taking it aggressively. So it is still, you can still apply for different immigration programs.
Exactly. And, like our colleague Celine said the other day in a conversation, one of the many that we've had, she said a secretary will not become a welder. So if we were missing welders before, even though some may have been laid off, when business starts picking up again, we will still need specific occupations.
Yes, definitely. And people who specialize, that's the reason why we are actually, we have careers or we have specialization in particular fields. So people who specialize, we can never replace these jobs. We don't know how to do it, so there are special people who can do these jobs well. So you have to have those people. So that's a good thing.
I agree. So I'm going to translate that into French. I should not forget my role as the French speaker here. Alors, juste après, je vais un peu résumer la conversation que nous avons eue, mais en tout cas, l'idée, c'était de vous dire que IRCC commence à accepter les candidatures pour le projet pilote agroalimentaire. Et le Canada donc s'est engagé à attirer les meilleurs talents dans les secteurs de la transformation de la viande, des champignons et de la serre, de l'élevage pour combler des besoins continus de main-d'œuvre. Et justement, ce dont on discutait avec Chitra, c'était que c'est un très bon signe. Ça veut dire que le gouvernement garde ses engagements par rapport aux politiques d'immigration et que donc on reçoit toutes les deux, comme nos collègues d'ailleurs, beaucoup d'appels de personnes qui se questionnent. Est-ce que le Canada est toujours ouvert pour l'immigration? Est-ce que on peut toujours déposer des demandes, etc. Et nous, de notre point de vue, la réponse est oui. Et ceci en est un exemple extraordinaire dans la mesure où, en ouvrant ce nouveau programme qui était de toute façon attendu et qui répond à des métiers qui étaient déjà en demande, on démontre bien une politique qui est que le gouvernement avance, le Canada avance avec l'immigration. Et comme disait notre collègue Céline, une secrétaire ne sera pas un soudeur et vice-versa. Donc, si on avait des besoins de main-d'œuvre avant, une fois que l'économie reprendra son cours et se stabilisera, ben, nous aurons exactement les mêmes besoins de main-d'œuvre après.
Great. So I think let's talk about biometrics, because a lot of my clients as well, they're actually approaching and saying, oh, so 90 days is getting over. So what do we do? Visa application centers are still closed, or Service Canada is still closed. What are we going to do about it? So IRCC updated last week. So don't worry in case, your biometric deadline is going to pass from 30 days to 90 days, whatever is mentioned on your application. So some biometric collection sites are still closed, and that includes visa application centers, United States application support centers, as well as Service Canada offices. So what IRCC says is, if the site is closed near you, so IRCC automatically will extend the deadline to give you biometrics. So you don't have to you have to wait for the sites to reopen. You don't have to worry about the deadline on your letter, and you don't have to contact IRCC for actually changing your deadline, or what you're supposed to do. Just follow up and see if the service centers open up, and once they open up, just go and give the biometrics. So same letter will be eligible for giving the biometrics. You don't have to pay anything extra, or you don't need any additional letter for this.
Actually, I have one of my clients, I think I mentioned it last week as well. Her appointment was canceled at the last minute, literally less than 24 hours prior. And when she was trying to set up another meeting, it was beyond the 90 days. And that was really, really stressful to her, because there's a lot at stake when you have
right.
application pending. And I was talking today to some clients who have their study permits that we submitted, that we're not able to do the biometrics. So the application. Exactly. I was lucky today to submit an application for someone who had already provided the biometrics. So I told him, yay, you're one of the lucky ones. Your application can be processed.
Yes. Yeah,
but it's not for everyone. But it's good news. Alors, les centres de biométrie sont encore fermés, que ce soit dans les centres d'application des demandes, que ce soit aux États-Unis ou que ce soit dans les centres de Service Canada. Donc, nous comprenons que c'est une source de stress, parce que vos demandes sont liées quand même au fait que vous soyez en mesure de donner vos données biométriques. Par contre, ne vous inquiétez pas, le gouvernement a annoncé la semaine dernière que si vous n'êtes pas en mesure de donner vos données biométriques parce que les centres autour de vous sont fermés, vous obtiendrez automatiquement un délai supplémentaire pour pouvoir donner vos données biométriques. Donc, pas de stress. Vérifiez quand même régulièrement si le centre à côté de chez vous a réouvert entre-temps, mais vous pourrez toujours le faire. Vous n'aurez pas de frais supplémentaires à payer. Tout suivra son cours normalement. I'm done with the French version.
Okay. All right. So I think that was all for the news today. So is there anything else that you want to discuss?
Actually, I mentioned last week that I asked for an authorization for a family to move because the father had a work permit, but the wife and the children didn't have their permits yet, and they received the authorization to travel before the end of the travel ban. So that's very exciting. I understand that, you know, the border agent still has their say, so they need to make sure to have their documents, but this is very encouraging, at least, you know, that
Yeah, that's
regardless.
good. Sometimes, you know, we feel that if you prepare the proper documentation and carry with you, that why are you entering and how you're eligible to enter. So then that's really, really important, actually. Especially we are saying that when you're a common law, carry all the proof of common law. You know, so if your application was approved before March 18 for study permit, carry the proof that it was approved before March 18. If you don't, and carry the page, I would say that, you know, where it is mentioned that you're eligible. So they would like to see IRCC website confirming that you meet the eligibility requirement. So I think everyone should, all the people who are trying to come to Canada should try to actually see how they are making the eligibility, meeting the eligibility requirement, and actually match their documents to, so that they're able to showcase to the border officers that they do meet this requirement. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. Donc, je mentionnais à Chitra que, donc, la semaine dernière, j'avais mentionné que j'avais fait une demande d'autorisation de voyager pour l'épouse et les enfants d'un de mes clients qui avait déjà le permis de travail. Et on discutait sur le fait que maintenant, ça reste quand même la responsabilité de l'agent de la SFC de laisser la personne entrer ou pas. Et donc, il est très, très important d'avoir vraiment tous les documents à l'appui qui démontrent l'éligibilité de chacun à entrer malgré les interdictions de voyage. Elle disait justement que si vous avez obtenu l'autorisation d'étudier avant le 18 mars, vraiment d'avoir la lettre avec la date pour démontrer vraiment que vous êtes éligible à entrer. Ne vous attendez pas à ce que l'on trouve les informations à votre place, mais assurez-vous d'avoir un dossier bien monté pour démontrer à l'agent de la SFC que vous êtes éligible à entrer. Donc ça, c'est vraiment très important. I wanted to ask you a question. In BC, have the schools announced anything about the fall semester being online as well, like here in Quebec, or?
Yes, most of the universities have announced that it will be online, actually.
Okay.
Even some lab courses where they have minimum of, say, 15 students or so, they're actually making some exceptions to that, that they will have a, you know, they'll come out with something where the labs are required, but most of the courses are going online.
Do you know anything about secondaries?
So they are going to actually announce, they're saying that they're going to have some system where they will have alternate days of schooling, but it has not started yet. So, some students come on some days, I don't know what they're going to do, but to be honest, I have 2 grown-up children, so I'm not too following the secondary system. But my son is in UBC, and they announced that the entire engineering program is going to be online.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I'm asking you is, but you know, curiosity killed the cat, right? And I actually have a few of my clients were supposed to do an exchange program with BC schools for finishing high school.
No, the clients that I had for the high school, they have been informed it will be online, or they will be coming back onto them when they are going to start the semester. So we actually wrote to them, and they said they will be coming back to us, because they were like, I had a couple of clients who were going to start grade 11 or grade 12 in BC. So they're yet to confirm on how it's going to happen. So they haven't traveled here. They're not any, so we don't know, because it's very difficult to postpone a semester for a high school.
Yeah, because it's not like you can start. I mean, I have done it personally. I started a school in Rome, Italy, and on my 11th grade, and then I moved in January to Paris, and I continued in the same grade, but I could speak French, so that was easier for me. But obviously, it's not the experience that a student is looking for when they come here for an exchange program.
Right. In fact, the idea behind the exchange program is you actually interact with the local students. You know, you learn from the students around you. So it's a different idea altogether. So that's, you know, so when you talk to high school students and say you're going to study online, they don't actually feel that it is going to be the same for them. So
It won't be
they
the
all
same.
want, it won't be the same. Yeah. See, when you're trying to do your master's or your university, yes, you know, if you have 3 years, you can do a semester online. You don't mind a semester online, right? But when it comes to the high school students, it's very different. So I have, see, all those university students that we have, they're still going to study online. So most of these, like all the institutions that, you know, that I work with, they have been announcing an online semester. How about you? Is it the same for you?
Pretty much the same here in Quebec. L'Université de Montréal has announced it, McGill has announced it, I believe Concordia has announced it, schools here have announced it. I think that what is more worrisome are the small colleges outside of the Montreal area. They tend to lose a lot of money, considering that a lot of their financing actually comes from international students.
Yes.
And also the next question is, you know, for instance, one of my students, she's accepted in a science program at McGill, and the school year is $42,000. I mean, it's a nice amount, and
it's a huge amount. Yes.
Doing it online for $42K is a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. I mean, if I was the parent having to pay for it, I certainly would have something to say about that. So I understand that the students here in Quebec, at least the ones that will attend as foreign students, have been asking questions about the tuition fees for international students, are hoping.
Yes.
We are expecting the schools to move a bit, because, you know, there's a political aspect to this. I mean, foreign students are a huge source of revenue for Canada. Not only they probably 60-70% of them are also tomorrow's immigrants.
Right.
So we don't want to lose them, right? And considering the situation, and considering that the economy is down, and considering all of that, we need to wait for what the school decide. It's not for me to say, obviously, but it would be nice to see a gesture on the other end, because otherwise, what would be the difference for a Tunisian guy or a young Indian young woman sitting in Delhi? Why would she not go to London?
Yes, that is true.
For the same price, for, you know, at least she gets the experience, same level of education.
See, I think IRCC announcing that, you know, it will not affect the postgraduate work permit for people if they study online for semesters, especially catering to the post-secondary, is a good move, actually. So this way they can start the program and actually not worry about you know, coming here during the fall semester, but they can start one semester and then continue studying here. So I understand they will not be getting the experience for one semester, but, you know, they actually, when you want to start your studies, you know, coming from grade 12, you are into a system where after 3-4 months you're going to start your college or university. So if they're not going to start, they're going to lose that much of time for their career as well. So if they're, suppose they do not end up starting in September, they will have, most of these programs are offered in September. They may have to wait for some programs for next September. That means losing out a whole year. Yeah, losing out a whole year. So I think it's a good move by IRCC that, you know, you don't lose your full year, you start your semester now, and then, you know, after one semester, come and join within the classroom, you know, come here and join it. I think it's a good, I think people will join just because, you know, if, like, I'll give you an example, like a lot of students, like a lot of clients that I have, they are actually planning to start just because they don't want to lose that time, right? So I think we should encourage them, yeah, because most of these programs are not offered in January or May. So September is the biggest start. So they should join it.
For foreign students. If you're a local student, sometimes you can start with a different intake, but for foreign students, most of the time is really the fall.
Even the local students, I've seen local students, they don't get the courses that they're looking for. So they have to end up doing electives or some other courses which may or may not be required for their degree. So that's also a major issue because most of the programs don't, if you start from say January, you lose out on the first semester. So it's starting from most of the courses offered are for the second semester. And sometimes you don't meet the prerequisite for a course.
True.
So if you don't meet the prerequisite, you can never join, take up any other additional courses. So this is a continuous thing. So I think it will be a wise idea to start it so that you don't miss out on your prerequisite, so that you can have a second semester, prepare yourself well for the second semester.
I agree. I'm not sure I can translate all of that, but I'll try to give a gist of what we just discussed. Je posais la question sur est-ce que en Colombie-Britannique aussi les universités ont annoncé que le premier semestre serait en ligne, et la réponse était oui. On a parlé un peu des programmes des étudiants étrangers pour les lycées, donc pour les secondaires. Et en effet, bon, c'est beaucoup plus difficile de faire un semestre en ligne quand on est au lycée. Donc, apparemment, les écoles vont contacter les étudiants qui avaient fait des demandes dans ce sens au cas par cas. Et puis, on parlait un peu de l'intérêt quand même de commencer les études malgré le fait qu'elles soient en différé, donc qu'elles soient via Internet, parce que quand même, tous les programmes ne commencent pas en janvier, donc ça voudrait dire perdre potentiellement une année universitaire. D'autre part, tous les crédits qu'on va faire dans ce premier trimestre ne sont pas forcément disponibles au semestre successif. Donc, il est quand même intéressant de suivre le parcours universitaire tel qu'il a été défini. Et puis, on a touché un tout petit peu sur les frais de scolarité. Alors, évidemment, on attend les annonces des écoles sur la question si oui ou non ils vont faire un effort par rapport aux frais de scolarité, parce que c'est quand même des frais de scolarité qui sont importants à payer lorsque on n'est pas vraiment sur place, etc. En tout cas, c'est toujours, it's always very interesting to have a chat with a colleague and, exchange opinions and see what others think and their analysis of the same situation.
That is correct. It was really nice interacting with you as well. So that's pretty good. I think we're good for today, and we had a great updates on the news and our opinions. So what we would request our listeners is please follow us on, myconsultant.ca. There's a YouTube channel. Please follow us on that to get these daily updates. And you can also ask your questions in the comments. So we are there to answer you.
Very nice. Yes, actually, sometimes I go and have a look at the questions, and they're very specific and very pertinent. So it's good for us as professionals also to answer those questions, so we can, stay in the line, the continuity of what we're trying to do with those daily updates.
Yes, that's great.
Merci de nous suivre tous les jours pour les nouvelles recommandations. Rappelez-vous, s'il vous plaît, de souscrire à notre YouTube channel myconsultant.ca. Et puis, vous savez, dans les commentaires en dessous, n'hésitez pas à poser vos questions. On a remarqué qu'il y a des questions qui sont très pertinentes auxquelles nous essayons de répondre. Donc, si vous écrivez vos réponses, vos questions dans les commentaires, on répondra, on y répondra. Alors, merci beaucoup et respectez les consignes du gouvernement et prenez soin de vous. Merci.
All right, thank you very much.